story that I want to share is the real experience of the English author Lynn Barber. In the story, she became Jenny, a girl who was born in a middle-class family and was an extraordinary genius. Her parents expected that she could apply to Oxford University.
I've got an English essay to do by tomorrow morning.
Right. So the only sound I want to hear coming through the ceiling is the sound of sweat dripping onto textbooks.
Her father's strict requirement made young Jenny shaped into an exemplary student role model. Until one day, she came into a middle-aged man, David. It was a pouring rain day. David drove a luxurious cat. He still waited for a mother-daughter crossing the road. That time Jenny was quite sure that that driver was a high-class man. Unexpectedly, the luxurious car approached her.
Hello. Look, if you had any sense, you wouldn't take a lift from a strange man, but I'm a music lover and I'm worried about your cello, so what I propose is you put it in my car and walk alongside me.
Jenny didn't understand his intricate teasing tricks. Then, she was just skeptical that he would steal her cello, and David, as always, didn't use an outdated trick. He generously used £15 as a deposit on her cello. This made Jenny burst into laughter. Agreeing to the offer, she let down her guard.
Can I sit in the car with my cello?
It was just what he was waiting for. David had Jenny in the palm of his hand after a short walk. A few days went by, they met each other more frequently. On the day of Jenny's performance, an expensive flower basket was placed at her door. When she had afternoon tea with her friends, she came into David dealing with his work. When the time had come, David started to attack. He invited Jenny to a concert along with his friends to ease her anxiety. Knowing Jenny was nervous that her parents wouldn't agree, he directly visited her house. He got everything under control. Under David's dominance, her father started stuttering, and Jenny's mother was amused by his words.
You didn't tell me I had a sister, Jenny.
So her parent not only agreed to give her away, her curfew was delayed. Soon after, Jenny also got on well with David's friends, including Danny. Seeing Danny's gorgeous outfit, Jenny was so engrossed and didn't dare to touch. Danny said, "It's fine. If you ask for it, you can have David buy any clothes you want." Jenny was still a little shy. She couldn't consider herself as David's girlfriend, but with him, she got accustomed to a wealthy life. There were special concerts, fancy concerts, expensive restaurants, and famous painting auctions. Everything made Jenny feel intrigued and excited. Her boring school life made her more and more uncomfortable. She used to be an excellent student, now her academic results declined dramatically. Even almost failed one subject. Jenny's parents were unaware that her deterioration related to David. Her mother suggested a private teacher, but her father was worried about the investment.
Because I think there's a whole clump of them surrounding the pocket money tree. I'll just go and make sure they're all nice and safe, shall I? Oh, and by the way, you might be lucky. There might be a man with deep pockets growing out there, because God knows you're gonna need one!
Because of this quarrel, Jenny became more obedient. Suddenly one day, there was the sound of a guest coming from downstairs, David. He chatted and drank wine with her father. Seeing Jenny walking down the stairs, her father blamed her for not having mentioned that David graduated from Oxford. Jenny stood confounded. She clearly remembered at the first meeting, David said he had graduated from the University of Life. After a few seconds, Jenny finally understood David lied about his graduation from Oxford and his close relationship with Professor Lewis to take Jenny out of the house. She played along and said that the opportunity of meeting the professor only came once several years. Her father was hesitating, but her mother was already softened.
Seems like too good an opportunity to pass on.
It wouldn't be a bother, would it, David?
Just like that, Jenny spent a night outside. Her relationship with David changed. She no longer wore casual clothes. Instead, she let Danny put on her makeup. A sexy nightgown made her become an innocent lamb waiting for the wolves. Jenny was 16 at that time. She remembered the school lesson that 17 was the right age to taste the forbidden fruit. Unexpectedly, David wasn't in a hurry because he wanted to throw a sprat to catch a mackerel, so he respected Jenny's decision. This made a naive girl as Jenny gets more attracted to him. Even his made-up stories were ignored without hesitation. Of course, they didn't go to meet the Oxford professor. But Jenny was surprised to find out David's tricks to earn money. It turned out that David's money wasn't decent at all. She saw David bringing an old map out of a house with her own eyes. He preyed on old people who did not know antiques to buy them at a low price. Including one time he helped a black man to look for a house just to expel the old white lady. So he could bid and ask with low and high price, and take advantage of opportunities for self-seeking for his dark ends. Jenny was so mad that she wanted to leave, but David reminded her that if she went back, she would only hear her father's criticism and be surrounded by complicated Latin exercises.
But these weekends and the restaurants and the concerts, they don't grow on trees.
Just like that, Jenny and David, a 16-year-old girl and a middle-aged man, who was over 40 years old, were like a couple, holding hands on Paris streets, dancing along the River Seine bank, and embracing each other at sunset. And what David was waiting for finally could be fulfilled. Gradually Jenny forgot about her Oxford dream and spent the whole day in a lustful and luxurious life. She couldn't control herself anymore. David popped the question. When telling her parents about this, she felt butterflies in her stomach. But unexpectedly her father surprised her.
This is where you're supposed to say, but what about Oxford?
Oh, look at it another way. You wouldn't really need to go now, would you?
It turned out that his purpose when forcing her to apply to Oxford University was to let her marry the right person. If she had met him before, then skipping a step was fine. Jenny was unbelievable. So what is the meaning of my efforts all those years? If I had known it sooner, I would have gone to the bar every day.
I don't know about nightclubs, I know about education. He wouldn't want you if you were thick, now would he?
Jenny was speechless. It turned out that school was just to make herself look a little smarter. If her parents said whatever happened was fine, she wouldn't have anything to think about. So she freed herself completely. She was naughty in class, interrupted the teachers and bragged about her valuable ring. The principal wanted to give her a chance, advised her to pursue her study dream because an uneducated person hardly succeeded. But Jenny was enraged. Even a well-educated person like you couldn't do big things either. Aren't you just sitting there and doing boring educational work?
My choice is to do something hard and boring, or to marry my Jew, and go to Paris and Rome and listen to jazz, and read and eat good food in nice restaurants and have fun.
The principal was speechless and nothing to say. Jenny collected her books and prepared to go home and marry a rich man. Until one day, she found some letters in David's car. The receiver was Mrs. and Mr. David. It was a bolt from the blue. Jenny realized that David had already been married. She forced David to act as a man and tell her parents everything. But they waited for so long. David turned his car around and left without saying a word. Jenny was heartbroken, went to David's house, and met his official wife. She didn't have to say much to let his wife understand her purpose.
You're not in the family way, are you? Because that's happened before.
Jenny realized that she was just one of his play toys. Her father knew that and wanted to confront David. Jenny felt embarrassed.
Oh, you're my father again now, are you? But what were you when you encouraged me to throw my life away? Silly schoolgirls are always getting seduced by glamorous older men, but what about you two?
Her family confusedly looked at each other and regretted it. Luckily Jenny was young, and she had many chances to restart. She submitted an application form to re-enter the school, but the principal denied it. Jenny came to a teacher who had always appreciated her, and she heard an emotional answer.
Miss Stubbs, I need your help.
I was so hoping that's what you were going to say.
When getting back to school, Jenny continued studying hard. Finally, she got into Oxford University as she wished, fell in love with a boy who was around her age. Heartbreaking things for a long time never seemed to happen. The first lesson about destroying yourself was buried at the smallest corner in her mind. Half a century later, the author Lynn Barber was brave enough to write it down. The story that she experienced herself. According to what she said, David was kind of handsome. But in fact, David was old and short, but she still fell in love with him blindly. Everything above is the glorious trap, satisfying our greed, looking for a shortcut. But we don't know that a peaceful place hides the greatest danger. If saying that Jenny's status is Lin Yu, then her personality resembles Wang Mani. Because they had their rules and limits. When she knew about Zhang Zh's status, she left immediately. Whereas the official girlfriend Zhao Jingyu, who was his mistress for 7 years, got used to the shortcut and didn't know how to earn a living without a man. Just like what Jenny said when she found out the truth.
I know, I was stupid. The life I want, there's no shortcut. I know now that I need to go to university.
Regardless of gender, life doesn't offer a shortcut. Rely on your ability so you don't have to watch out for anybody's attitudes to live your desirable life.